Let's talk about winter tires for the new Toyota Prius. You know, they seem to be pretty difficult to come by. And I found a fella, and I don't recall his name, who posted something out about a set that he had gotten that actually fit his Prius. Now, he has an SE Prime, but it's really about what fits and doesn't rub. And he says these don't rub. So remember to always do your own homework. I would highly recommend that at any shop you go into that you have one, particularly the fronts, test fitted so that you know you're not going to have any rub or anything. But these seem to be fairly difficult to find. You know, it's like the new Tesla Cybertruck. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it has kind of a special setup. I mean, not that the whole truck isn't anyway, but the tires particularly, they have a cover that goes over the wheel, and the wheels actually look pretty decent underneath that cover. But this cap kind of goes over the wheel, and it has like a flange every so often around that cover that fits into a groove on the tire. Now, since I've never seen a tire like this before that has a groove in it for a cover to fit in, that tells you that they're pretty darn specialized, right? And the problem becomes if you're out somewhere and you have a problem and you need a tire, are you going to be able to call their roadside assistance and have them show up with that particular tire that fits on that truck? Or are you going to have to settle for something else and then buy another tire later that's like the rest that you have so that you can use that wheel? I hate when dealers, or manufacturers I should say, make things so specialized that you can't get anything. And it seems to be a little bit like that with the Toyota Prius. Like they're a little bit special. I don't know. Anyway, on my car, this is a limited all-wheel drive, and it has a 195/50 R19-inch wheel. Nice big honking expensive wheel, and the tires that go along with it, right? Now, this set that I had come across from this guy is actually a 17, so it's a smaller wheel. Now, there's no problem with that, or a smaller tire diameter, interior, I guess I'd say. The problem with that is obviously it won't fit on a 19-inch wheel. That's too big. So you'd have to buy additional wheels, or the whole set, if you're going to go with something like this. Now, I don't see a problem putting 17-inch tires just for the winter on any version of the Prius. I mean, you're going to put your regular tires back on, I would assume, after the winter is over. And also, that means you'll increase the life of both the winter tire and your normal driving tires because you're not going to have them on all the time. So, what this fellow went with, it is a 215/55 R17. And he states that there's no issues with rubbing, it fits well. Again, the only thing you're going to have to do is find a 17-inch wheel that fits the tire. That really shouldn't be any problem because it's the offset of the tire that determines whether you're going to have any rubbing or anything, unless you decide you're going to go with some sort of an off-road mud tire on your Toyota Prius. And I don't think I hope there's nobody out there who's actually going to do that. Now, the other concern is what it does to the speedometer. Obviously, if you change the size of the tire, the wheel, all that stuff, you're going to have some kind of a fluctuation in what your speed is going to be. I know in this particular example for this guy's Prius, and again, it's an SE Prime, it changed his speed, or the speed that shows on the speedometer as compared to what you're actually going, by 0.4%. So in other words, if he's traveling at 55 miles an hour on his speedometer, he's actually traveling at 55.2 miles per hour. Now, is that a big deal? It wouldn't be a big deal for me, but obviously it's something to be aware of. The faster you go, the more you're going to have, or the bigger difference you're going to have between what the speedometer shows and what your actual speed is going to be. So that's something to be wary of, I guess, if that matters to you. Now, I mentioned the looks of it. Obviously, you're going to have a different look to the car if you go with something like that. You're going to have a smaller wheel and tire setup, so you're going to have more gap, if you will, more space around that tire as compared to the fender well because you've shrunk it down a little bit. Now, I don't think that's really a big deal. After all, you are going to just be running them in the winter time, so it's not a permanent thing. You don't have to be too concerned, and who cares? It's going to look like a mess in the wintertime anyway, particularly if you live in an area that gets a lot of snow and ice and they salt the hell out of the roads, which most places do, that get that kind of weather. So your car's going to be a mess anyway. Who cares? There is another benefit to going with a separate wheel and tire combination, I guess, and that is to keep all that salt and grime and junk off of your good wheels, the ones that you're going to run all of the time, or when it's not winter, I guess I should say. So it'll help preserve those as well. And that's why I wouldn't spend a ton of money. If it were me doing it, I would buy some sort of cheap wheel, probably the cheapest wheel I could find, knowing that they're going to get eaten up by all that salt and grime and stuff that they put on the roads in the wintertime. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little information since it seems to be so difficult to find the right size or anything that works. Again, he's running a 215 55 R17 with no rubbing issues. Leave a comment. Let me know if you found something else that works, you actually have experience with, and there's no problems. Leave the size down below. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.